And if we look back over the last 9 months and recap a little over the accumulated lessons that we have learned, our first call when we were first put into lockdown was, of course, to slow down. And this is still very, very, very much the energy, the medicine, to slow down and notice and interconnect and to find your own authority. We began the journey of coming back into balance with nature, with our own true natures, with Mother Earth, with our Earth family, dropping into a more attuned level of care, of consciousness, compassion, flexibility, letting go of rigidity. We did a whole Sunday sanctuary on that. Finding new pathways to walk, becoming conscious of our choices, our resonances, and what we are personally attuning to, because this time, this Aquarian field is about your sovereignty. This is where we serve from, is by becoming as an intact as we can be, and not being brainwashed into anybody else's ways. It's finding our own way and coming from that position to serve the whole. Becoming more mindful, building community, becoming more community conscious, cooperation, finding our nose, coming back into the center of our beings, living more soulfully, inner activism, sacred activism, creating more spaciousness, more emptiness, collaboration, learning the power of our individual voice and how our thoughts and our choices really influence the whole today as we become more authentic, more transparent. We don't have to be public, but we need to be mindful of what we are contributing to the planet in every action that we make. And most importantly, coming deeper service, not in sacrifice. The age of sacrifice is over, but service is the lead. And learning discernment and embodiment. And these are some of the flavors that we've been working with through these months. You know, I've often say that, you know, pre-COVID, we normalized greed, oppression, exhaustion, depletion, overworking, taking, entitlement, and these energy constructs have been dismantling and will continue to dismantle our lack of justice, our lack of care. And so all through this time, we've been pulling at the roots that do not support us, that do not support Mother Earth, and do not support the collective humanity. So we were put in Mother Nature's waiting room for the good of all, learning to live in coherence and learning new ways, new pathways. This is so important and continues to be important. The world is coming together in a new way, and we are finding new ways to be on our earth. This means, of course, a new economy of care, caring for each other, cultivating our own life energy, not leaking, which we've been doing and how we've been brought up. We've been brought up to look outside. This is the return journey to come inside, to live from the inside out. We are adapting to a whole new world. And COVID has been changing our world. In a way, COVID has been a messenger of light. It has brought the change. And how we're going to travel, how we're going to work, what our relationships are going to be like. We're in a whole new frontier, which I believe is, even though I'm an intuitive and not an astrologer, but I believe this is the markings of what we're looking at in this next moment of December the 21st. So it's learning to not resist. That's going to make everything harder. But learning discernment, it's this balance of having your own authority and knowing what's right and being clear on that. But if we resist and we're unable to surrender, we're unable to be flexible, things can get more hard. And again, it comes back to you finding your own truth. Our future belongs to working as community, no doubt working as a group. The day of separateness and singular is over. And I believe elitism may have had its day. We're coming into a new world order. It takes time. And as I've said, as spirit weavers, thread weavers, midwives, the work that we do is for all future generations. It's not for personal gain. It's for the dedication for all future generations. I believe that we've got a whole legacy of young that are coming up fast, that have a voice of Aquarian leadership, that want a new map of equality. They're going to be coming near voting power, and they want change. And this hierarchical way of being has to come down and find a new way of cooperation. And how do we work together as leaders? Singular leadership, government, party, and it's interesting in a way what Biden is doing. We can't have this one-way system anymore. I think that's isn't that an old, that's a traffic sign, a one-way system. We can't have that anymore. We've got a whole bunch of new world entrepreneurs that really want to make a difference on our planet for these times. So we have been called to find a new balance, go more local, travel more local. As countries are closing down, how do we adapt not being able to move around? And I would absolutely like to promote Aquarian travel, which is learning to find space within. Holidays are inside our being, and freedom is inside. That's Aquarian travel for me. So the good news is it doesn't cost you anything. So that's my Christmas present. Have a wonderful Aquarian traveling time. So this is definitely an epoch time. I think it's something like a 200-year cycle, but Debbie will talk about this and how we've changed from earth to air. And so we come into the energy of hope. We're not coming into the energy of being blinkered or deluded, but to see life for what it is and to understand that we are coming to the end of a cycle. And that everything that we've encountered this year is in a way being symbolized as an end of an age. So just to take a few seconds to absorb that this is the end of a cycle, a way of being, and the end of an old age. Again, it's not going to happen just like that, but the energy structures are escalating us more and more towards this. So how do we choose to turn up in the world has never been more important. All of us are being invited to partake in a different world, a fairer world, one where there is enough for everyone. And life will be moving and shifting around us and coming deep back into yourself so you feel safety from the inside. As the outside world, in a way, fails to provide this, so you yourself finding safety on the inside. and also with your Sangha, with your soul tribe. This is why we all love community, and we all work so hard to build community support so that you really have that. And I'm so pleased with, you know, what we've been doing in Arrigo with all the communities that we've set up through the retreats, through new codes of living, through this Sangha. It really is so that we can support each other. So this is the path of individualization. And how do we serve from this place right now? And we are learning to come into a new way for the good of all. And